campaign season. An investigation into the claim is on at this hour. The Connecticut Port Authority has for the second time missed a deadline to obtain a federal permit needed for a portion of the $235 million State Pier construction project. But while the August 31st and now October 15th deadlines have come and gone, both the CPA and its partners, Danish wind company Ørsted and Eversource, are still optimistic the project will move forward as planned. Gas prices in Rhode Island continue to rise, up 18 cents per gallon over the past month. Officials confirm it's the highest average price of petrol in 7 years. AAA Northeast says self-service regular unleaded gasoline now averages $3.26 per gallon in the state. The price marks a 9-cent jump over the past week and is $1.16 per gallon higher than on the same day last year.
Managing Director of Paragon Trust Company and tax and private client practitioner, joins us to bring a common sense approach to money in a world of total insanity. Let's welcome Tony D'Angelo.
All right, my good pal Tony D is joining us. I got to be honest, Tony, I don't even know when the last time we talked on the air. I have no idea, no recollection of that. So my whole last...
We're all back in our proper places, my friend, and it's proud to be among you and everyone.
Well, I thank you, my friend, as always. And thank you, by the way, Tony left some fantastic coffee here for everybody. So those folks who end up... getting in here some way, shape, or form. Hey, usually is coffee brewing, and Tony brought a bunch of that stuff. So, Tony, thank you for that. Where'd it come from?
It's from a Haitian mission. The general store over here, down in Abington sells it, and it's just a life lesson. You get people in a mission field who they have a vision to industrialize and to do better things for themselves. And we have the most industrialized country in the world, and we have a bunch of crybabies in the streets yelling for more income, and I can't do this and I can't do that, and it makes me crazy. It literally makes me crazy.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I want to thank you again. I know I thank you about a million times, but it's well deserved. Thank you again for being, a rock. And when I needed somebody, like the next day, you were right there to do a show. And I've been doing this show now, not here for 10 years, and prior to that 5 at another station, so 15 years trying to build a show, and to be honest with you, I always had complete confidence turning it over to you, and I thought that you did a fantastic job.
Well, the other guys were, everybody, I think we all fed off one another, and kind of gives a little bit of a different perspective in at bat, and it becomes a part of the morning routine, and I think whatever we can do to help with that is great.
Well, I appreciate that. So listen, where are we going? Where do you want to start today? Crime bill?
Oh man, you've made me less angry, and I don't know if that's good, but I'll tell you something. I've been getting so angry at the news. I've been watching these Martian movies on Classic Reel. It's just like I get so disgusted. If I had Elvis Presley's money, I would buy a Derringer and I would be shooting at screens, just on general principle. But I often wonder, when the Martian lands on Earth and he gets out of the flying saucer, what's his perception? What's going through his head? And I thought, what if a Martian landed in Connecticut? What would the Martians see? And you and I had chatted about this, and this isn't really my normal subject, but maybe it is, because it's a part of safety and security and infrastructure, not human infrastructure, but infrastructure. We had chatted a little bit about the proposed crime bill by the Republican Party. And, you know me, I'm a, conservative, independent. I've voted GOP just about my whole life, but I've been, up and down this thing. I've read about 3 or 4 articles on it, which, it's state-run media. I get it, but there's really no reason to spin this thing. And I can't make heads or tails out of what these people are trying to do. It's non-substantive. It's not imaginative. It's, unascertainable. There's 4 proposals in it. And I mean, people look at this and they say, why should I bring my business to Connecticut? Well, okay, this is what we're going to do. We did a terrible thing with the police accountability bill. And now what we're going to try to do is make a bad thing a little bit better. Well, really what you have to do, because we've got a grave situation in the state with carjackings and all this other stuff, you have to admit a mistake and you have to start over. But we never do that in the state. So we're going to have around-the-clock GPS. Well, that's really good. So now we'll know where the perp is, but right. Yet he's still going to be doing it. Next day court. And the reason for that is because some people need services and support in court, through the court system. Are we not talking about people that have committed a criminal act? And it's just one more thing. It's just one more, anger-producing thing that that is so Connecticut. I mean, the state with drunken legislators, the state with, Martin at control by executive order. Again, I don't know whether to laugh, cry, scream, or throw up. I mean, there's got to be better solutions to this. And I'll just leave you with this one example. There's a fire in your kitchen. There's a high-powered garden hose, and there's a kitchen squirter. What are you going to use to put the fire out? I'll start there.
That's pretty good. That's a good example. I could never get my mind around the idea that the Democrats in this case, refuse to accept the idea that there's actually crime happening.
Nothing happening.
Like nothing going on. Like not one thing is wrong with the state of Connecticut when it comes to crime. Break-in after break-in, stolen car after stolen car, even dead bodies now that are piling up. And they don't want to do anything about it. They want to have an executive or a special session to give Lamont more power, but not a special session to kind of wrangle in with what's going on in the world of crime. It doesn't make any sense to me. None.
With that special solution, you have to have better solutions than this. I mean, this isn't going to do anything. This is like, I'm sitting there, and I do not consider myself an illiterate person. Yeah. I can't make heads or tails out of this thing. What are you trying to do?
Exactly. And let me ask you this. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm somebody I'm like everybody. I think every common sense person. You're a young individual. You make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. We've all done stupid stuff when we were young. But there comes a point in time when those stupid mistakes become sinister, right? So now you've done the same thing 12 times, 13 times, 15 times, or in some cases now you've escalated from a minor infraction. Now you're doing violent things. You're actually scaring people. You're hurting people. Now, to me, those folks, Tony, have to be removed from society. I'm sorry they had a bad upbringing. I'm sorry their dad was a crackhead and their mom was a prostitute or whatever it is, whatever their situation is. They're not loved. I feel sympathy for that. But there comes a point in time when the society takes precedent over that one individual.
Well, and the decision you make, Lee Elci, and your character is your own. You decide, I don't want to do this. And then if the light's not going on, we talked about, a 3 strikes rule. If the light's not going on by the second strike and then you're off to the third, that's telling me that at least at this point in your life, you ain't getting it. I mean, we need 6, we need 9. I mean, we're going to rewrite the rules of baseball. I realize we've done that, but that's my esteemed guest after you. I mean, it's like, right. You got to do better than this. I agree.
All right, so tell me, move from that to yesterday I had Andolphine on, and I want to get your opinion on the whole Hitler situation.
Well, it's interesting, and I thank you for asking. I listened to Ann, not that it was an enjoyable subject. I enjoyed listening. She was heartfelt. She told it what it is. People really don't get, and this is the whole thing, the political system does not get the dissatisfaction, and I'm being very polite, that people have with all things government, and I was humbled, and, I am very respectful. But when it comes down to, the fact of, and I'm going to call it what it is, really, a lot of it is and believe me, you're talking somebody that wouldn't be here but for Jewish people. A lot of what happens here is false outrage. What they don't look at is if you take a turn on Twitter and see what some of the high-ranking Democratic people are saying to people that oppose them. I mean, it is vile, it is disgusting, it is despicable. I've gone to these people and I said, really almost in the name of God Almighty, you've got us. They don't do anything, but the thing is, they own the media. They got $72 million saying what I say goes. And the problem is, I think, Representative Ann, who feels that, I'm out here kind of on a boat with no oars and she's not getting anybody really to back her up on it, it's really truthfully a shame, because what the party is not seeing is, by kind of not looking at this other side of how people is, they're playing right into the hands of the spin media, and the spin media is chewing them up. And either they can't see it or they don't want to see it. Now, I will say this one characterization about Hitler. I don't think it's an accurate characterization of Ned. I mean, Ned is not a Hitler. Ned is more of an Al Capone or a Frank Nitti or a John Gotti. He's a racketeer. And, he loves this. He loves this kind of whatever in the heck it is, these whatever you want to call it, tempest in the teapots or whatever, because it's more of a smoke screen for him. And, it's the kind of thing that, because basically, Lee Elci, he's a bagman. He's a con artist. You don't believe me? Well, look at it this way. A year ago, my healthcare workers. I love my healthcare workers. Anything for my healthcare. Now he's firing them like a cat pistol.
Right.
It's like the guy does the game that does his capital. Hey, listen, Semaphore stock is a problem. It's a third of its value since its offering. I mean, he's got investors. That's why he's there. Basically, I don't. My opinion, you can disagree with me. I don't think there's anything humanitarian about it at all. I would respectfully disagree. He's not Hitler. He's a racketeer.
Interesting. That's a very interesting take to it. Tony D'Angelo joins us each and every Tuesday to chat about a number of things. Over the last year or so, we focused almost primarily on Governor Lamont, and he has gone after him in a big way and actually changed the landscape because people are now starting to talk about SEMA a little bit. SEMA 4. Actually, I was out on Sunday, and people were asking me about him with that,
Isn't
too.
it great when people come to you and say, hey, thank you, or whatever the case may be, and it's like, if you could do one thing, and that's believe me, much makes this worthwhile, but for me, that's always a charge for me.
You said there was another shady transaction this week?
This is just it. The bag keeps moving. While this whole thing it is classic racketeering. I'm going to throw you, and this is a Beard thing. This is going on while all this stuff is happening. There's an equity called OODA, OODA. Now, this is a closed equity of the Oak HCFT. And how we have a jokey ethics thing in this state, which, I mean, believe me, you might as well not even spend the money. OODA was taken over by Cedar in March of this year, and then in May, Cedar started dealing, and what Cedar is, this is a medical billing corporation. They started dealing with Hartford Healthcare, and then they started dealing with Yale New Haven. I mean, so basically, by running a prop, by having an intermediary, the Lamont's profit. They're doing this continually while we're talking about Hitler, when we really should be talking about Al Capone, Lee Elci.
Good stuff. Tony.
Simple as that and just as difficult. Hey, listen, you said you're in a little bit of funk. I'm getting you started, man.
Yeah, you got me fired up now. So there we go. We're going to turn it over to your pal next. It's going to be an interesting show, I think, today. But thank you, as always, for starting it up and igniting the engine.
Happy to be here.
All right, pal. Well,